Hi everybody, I'm Shane Minarsky. I wanted to bring something to your attention today, and basically it's random acts of kindness to strangers. For a long time, now that my son's 24 years old, I had gotten, set into my life and everything else. I got my daughter's born. She's only 8 years old, and I'm forced to look at the world through her new eyes. How children are, they walk down the street and just instinctively they seem to know when somebody's not having a good day or anything else like that. And with the simple act of a smile or a hi or an acknowledgement of the people that are around them can make somebody's day. And it's like so often nowadays, with the electronic media, and in fact we go out into the world to interact with the world, most of us are interacting an electronic device, bring our own world with us, and don't even interact with the outside world anymore. And through her eyes, I've actually noticed, wow, we just don't see each other anymore. And what I've thought of, so many times we go across campus and everything else like that, we're so into what we're doing, just here, that we don't even notice the people that we pass by. You can almost bump into somebody and you're so into your own world that you don't even notice what's going on there. That person could be having a fantastic day. They could be having a rotten day. And just by the simple acknowledgement of slowing down for a second, looking up and saying hi. If they don't have a smile on, give them one of yours. Or for that matter, they're having a great day and you're having a horrible one. You look up, and somebody turns around and looks at you and says, hi, how you doing today? Actually is acknowledging you and asking you how you're feeling that day. Just that in and of itself, and that can just elevate your day. Elevate your week. Whatever's going on in your life at that point, all of a sudden it kind of cuts it, wow, I feel here, I feel worthwhile. And that's one of the things that I notice about that. And what I wanted to do is tell everybody, when you're going across and you're out in the world itself, you want to acknowledge the people that are there with you. This is a big, huge world, and we're all part of it. And so far, we've gotten down to the point where we're so electronically motivated that we've forgotten that the rest of the world exists. In here in this class and that, we all interact quite well. We talk to each other, we hear about each other, we know a lot about each other. And it's very little time that we're actually in here. You realize that we're only in here for a couple hours a week, and out of the people that are here in this class, how much do you really know about them? Because it's a speech class, we've heard lots of things, about what's going on in their lives, what's important to them. I found out, wow, I have common ground with this person. And it's only 5 to 7 minutes. But when we walk outside this door and walk across campus, how many times between here and the next class have you actually stopped and said hi to a random stranger? I don't know about you guys, but I don't have enough friends in this world where I can actually squander the chance to make a new one. And it's so often in your world that you find out that the people that you do make the strongest connections with aren't with us for very long. When I was in high school, there were 4 of us that hung out together, grew up together. We were about 6 years apart in age, but we did everything together, and totally different backgrounds. One of us was a top-notch motorcycle mechanic. One of us was a rodeo cowboy. Specifically a rodeo clown. And John himself was a mechanic, but he got in trouble when we were younger and ended up in prison. And me, I was a musician. So we all came from very different, disparate backgrounds. But the 4 of us were like this, growing up. And I did my little stint in prison when I was young, and I got out. Well, John was out of prison before I was. He got a good job and everything else like that. The first thing he did when I got out was make sure that I had a job and I had somewhere to go and something to do when I got out. And but he couldn't handle the outside world. And one night he sat in the Vitamin Cottage parking lot and overdosed in his truck. It was Labor Day weekend. They didn't find him And so they figured he died Friday night. They didn't find him until Monday. He'd been sitting in his truck all weekend. That was tough. And, then comes Tracy. We rodeoed together. I steer wrestled. He got me into it. My horse in his clown gear pulled behind a '78 Lincoln Town Car, And we had spent a lot of time together doing that. And it was something that I would have never even tried on my own. And on his way back from Cody, Wyoming, at a rodeo I was supposed to be with him at, I had extra time for that weekend. His girlfriend flipped the truck, fallen asleep at the wheel on the way back from Cody, Wyoming. And Tim, after all of us, he's would always drive a Honda. Top-notch Harley mechanic, drove a Honda Goldwing because he needed to get to work. His bike choked on him when he was making a left-hand turn. Late afternoon sun, gassed it, lost it, laid it down in front of an RTD bus. The driver never saw him, drove him into the curb and killed it. And it's like 4 Musketeers, And I sit there after all this is done, and I'm at, especially at Tim's funeral, and I don't know where to go from that point. And then what do? I take this job, and somebody I met on the street got hired onto the company and everything else like that by talking to a random stranger. And Jim ended up being my roommate. We worked together for almost 10 years, and it was just a random stranger. We became best friends. And when I buried him 2 years ago, about 2.5 years ago, when he died from pancreatic cancer, I sat there, I was down, but I sat there and I remembered to myself, if I hadn't picked up my head to say hi to a random stranger, I would have missed out on a best friend, one of the best friends that I've ever had in my entire life. Now, what I want to do is say that this Wednesday, turn it into, if you don't have a smile on, I'll give you one of yours. Say hi to a random stranger day here on campus. Just think about it. When you're going across campus, rather than just being so headlong into what you're doing, look up. Say hi to a random stranger. Give them a smile. It could be brief. It doesn't have to make you late for class. Just say hi. You never know what could possibly happen by saying hi to a random stranger and making